New developments right now in the Capitol riot investigation tonight. One of the people the Department of Justice says threatened the life of House Speaker Nancy Pelosi pleaded guilty for her role in the Capitol riots, but it is not for making threats against the Speaker. Chief investigative reporter Eric Flack has more on the potential punishment this woman faces. Again, Flack, now, so to be clear, this woman was not actually charged with a crime for those alleged threats, right?
Yeah, and that's one of the interesting parts about this story, Les, and it's also a little confusing about these prosecutions, the varying degree of criminal charges Capitol riot defendants are facing, even when they're accused of similar and serious crimes. Dawn Bancroft and Diane Santos Smith were 2 of 5 Capitol riot defendants to plead guilty today to the petty misdemeanor charge of parading, demonstrating, or picketing inside a Capitol building, which carries a maximum sentence of 6 months in prison, but can also result in house arrest or probation. The Department of Justice alleges while leaving the Capitol, Bancroft, wearing that red "Make America Great Again" knit hat, made a selfie-style video and said, quote, "We were looking for Nancy to shoot her in the friggin' brain, but we didn't find her." Charging documents claimed the Nancy Bancroft was talking about is the Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi. But those alleged threats were not included in the criminal charges against Bancroft, despite the fact at least 4 other Capitol riot defendants accused of threatening violence are charged with interstate communication of threats or interstate threats to injure or kidnap, felonies which carry sentences of up to 2 years behind bars. Former federal prosecutor Niyama Rahmani told us even he is confused by the DOJ's decision not to file interstate threats charges against Bancroft, telling us, quote, "There is a sufficient interstate nexus because she sent the video of her threatening Pelosi to her children. The U.S. Attorney's Office chose not to prosecute her under 18 U.S.C. 875, even though they had sufficient evidence to do so." But one more part of this story. During this afternoon's plea hearing, Judge Emmett Sullivan pressed the DOJ about how Bancroft's threat to Pelosi didn't rise to a chargeable offense. Prosecutors' answer: Bancroft and her friend had already entered and then left the building when the video was recorded. Bancroft's attorney added the video was not posted publicly. Judge Sullivan's response: "It's very troubling to hear someone say the reason they entered the Capitol on January 6th was essentially to murder the Speaker of the House. Very troubling." We're going to talk about that statement more come time of sentencing. Leslie?
Yeah, I mean, I could see why people are conflicted about how that ended up in the way that it did. But there was also news today about 3 of the men charged with that vicious assault on D.C. police officer Mike Fanone, right?
Yeah, and it looks, Leslie, like the 3 of the men charged with attacking Officer Fanone are considering taking plea deals as well. During a status hearing in court today, attorneys for Thomas Civic and Kyle Young, seen in that image right there, and Albuquerque Cosper Head, told the judge they need more time to consider a plea deal offered by the DOJ, but that talks are ongoing. The 3 men are charged jointly for viciously attacking Officer Fanone, with Civic accused of ripping Fanone's badge and radio right off his vest. All of it captured right there on Fanone's body cam video. The terms of the government's plea offer is unclear. All 3 men are charged with assault on law enforcement, meaning any plea deal will almost certainly include significant prison time. Back to you.
So many cases, Eric, and so much to follow. Thank you.